Marvel have been busy, eh? With all these recent announcements of Disney Plus shows, new trailers, updated release dates for films. Yes, cinemas are still a thing in the COVID-19 climate. Please support them. It seems like some other recent news has fallen by the wayside, so we're going to focus on just one of the many Phase 4 movies. Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Yes, the MCU Spider-Man 3, which will apparently feature a bunch of characters and actors from previous pre-MCU Spider-Man films. Reportedly among the people joining the web-slinging threequel are the two previous live-action Spider-Man. No, Spider-Mans? No, that's not... Spodermans? Yeah, that'll do. Tobes McGee and Andy Garth. And that got me thinking, how would I rank the live-action Spider-Man villains? All 11 of them? Only live-action though, or Into the Spider-Verse would just win everything. So let's jump aboard the hype train, try to prevent it from crashing and killing us all, as we rank every live-action Spider-Man villain from worst to best. Number 11, RHINO. So we have Golden Globe winning dramatic actor Paul Giamatti, very good actor by the way, playing a skinhead Russian dude who looks like an angry thumb. He wears a giant metal rhino for about 30 seconds, and his only line is basically "I am Rhino!" saying his own name. I assume they had bigger plans for him in the Amazing Spider-Man 3, whereas we are all aware, if we've seen it, Amazing Spider-Man 2 is total and utter dog shit. That will be a recurring theme with the bottom few villains. I feel that the movie they're in is really, really bad. Number 10, Electro. Oscar-winning actor Jamie Foxx, also tremendous actor by the way, becomes basically an electric smurf and then turns evil purely because Spider-Man forgets his name, and he then of course follows the Amazing Spider-Man 2 trend of letting us know exactly who he is. Because of course he does. Now don't get me wrong, the blue thing is a massive upgrade on what we had previously, case in point, but the entire Electro story in this film is just not good. Hopefully Jamie Foxx redeems himself when he plays it again. Number 9, Green Goblin? Question mark? Maybe Hobgoblin? Not quite sure. I mean, at least he gets some character development, which is more than most people in the same film he's in. Harry Osborn is Spider-Man's best friend. He's dying from a really rare blood disease, so takes some super steroid juice, and it backfires majestically, as you can see. But it's still just not very good. The transformation scene is shot well though, and I think they actually tried to make him look like a goblin, but it just doesn't work. They also missed the trick by not having him continue the Amazing Spider-Man 2 trend of saying his own villain name and shouting, "I am Goblin." He plays a creepy dude very well, and is also responsible for this. Although I say Spider-Man killed Gwen, but you know, that's up to you. Number 8. No, not that Venom. I mean, he literally eats a guy's head, but still, not a villain, and not an actual Spider-Man. Yet. But this one is just, yeah, not very good. It looks like somebody sneezed all over Topher Grace. I remember being so excited when they announced Venom for the original Spider-Man 3, but this is just bad. And on the very rare occasions where we actually get Venom's full face, he unfortunately just looks like a really angry killer whale. We are Venom. Number 7, the Lizard. Kirk Connors is a complex guy who just wants his arm back, but instead he ends up turning himself into a giant lizard man while trying out an experimental arm growing back formula. I mean, who hasn't happened to, let's be honest. I personally have lost count of the amount of times I've been walking around with my one arm, and suddenly next thing you know, I'm a Goomba from the Super Mario movie, trying to convert everyone in the world to equally weird lizard people. If only he'd, I don't know, got a metal arm or something.
You have a metal arm? That is awesome, dude!
Number 6, New Goblin. I mean, any of these bottom few could be pretty much in any order. They're all relatively equally bad. But I commend them for updating the Goblin tech for Harry, and his story arc over the 3 movies he appears in is pretty solid. The amnesia and stuff aside, James Franco does crazy schizo Harry pretty good, pulls some truly amazing faces, and completes his arc by dying. Like father, like son. Number 5, Sandman. What? A Spider-Man 3 villain in the top 5? Why? Simple. 1. The effects are fantastic for the time, and the bit where he struggles to pick up his daughter's locket due to his new sandiness has serious actual emotional weight behind it. 2. Speaking of his daughter, his character arc is complex. The guy just wants to help her because she's ill, which is heartwarming when you think about it. 3. Thomas Hayden Church is in George of the Jungle, this, and Easy A, and is always fantastic in everything that he's in.
Don't forget tomorrow's Earth Day.
Just let's not focus on the fact that they retconned it so he killed Uncle Ben to death and we'll be fine. Number 4, Green Goblin, the original one. Willem Dafoe plays crazy split personality weirdo really, really well. Probably because he is actually legitimately insane in real life. The Goblin suit is about as good as it could be in live action for the time. I mean, it could have been this. Yeah. Plus, he dies by literally stabbing himself in the crotch with his own flying knife mobile. Isn't that how we all want to go out? Really? When you think about it? Rest in peace, Norman. Number 3, The Vulture. Michael Keaton is phenomenal in this. The scene where he realises that Peter is Spider-Man is fantastically shot, with the traffic lights turning from red to green the moment he puts it all together and realises the truth. And the twist that he's Liz's dad is also perfect. The reimagining of the Vulture is incredible, as we could have gotten an old guy wearing green spandex and huge eagle wings, so big improvement. I really look forward to seeing him again in Morbius next year.
What's up, Doc?
Number 2, Mysterio. Now, everyone saw the twist of him being a bad guy coming. That's besides the point. The point is that it's done amazingly well. I get the argument that both main villains in the Tom Holland Spider movies have been second-hand villains from Tony Stark. But it all makes sense. Quentin Beck wants Tony's tech, Peter has Tony's tech. Tony was almost a father figure to Peter, and now Quentin fills that void, purely to get close enough for Peter to trust him. And who wouldn't trust Jake Gyllenhaal? Just look at him. You could get lost in those eyes. It's all fantastically done, and the entire illusion scene where Mysterio attacks Peter is amazing, especially Zombie Iron Man. Also, the ending scene where Mysterio reveals to the world this little nugget
Spider-Man's name is Peter Parker.
is an actual real shock, and those are few and far between in movies these days. Also, not to forget,
You're breathtaking.
I mean, he really is breathtaking, isn't he? Number 1, Doc Ock. I think Otto is number 1 on everyone's Spidey villains list, right? I mean, it's not much competition. Alfred Molina is always great, and he plays the role to perfection. It helps that this is a great movie in itself, but that is also mostly down to the Doctor being a great villain. And the scene where his arms go wild and murder everyone in the hospital is basically pure Raimi horror goodness. I mean, just look at this bit. Beautiful. However, he's not without his flaws. I mean, I don't get why you'd put a very exposed and breakable microchip on your neck to control some metal octopus-like arms, but I am surprisingly not a super genius. Of course, the microchip breaks immediately, leaving the arms AI to basically use Otto's body as a meat puppet. That sounded far better in my head. He also rocks a mean fedora, so that gets 10 out of 10 by itself. So what do you guys think? Are you happy with the ranking? Is there anything that we'd move? Are you enraged? Are you amazed? Are you perhaps aroused? I would love to hear your opinions on who your favourite or least favourite villain is. I'd love to hear who you want to see in the next Spider-Man movie. I'd love to hear why you like Dane DeHaan's Green Goblin so much, you bloody weirdos. Stay safe, have a marvellous Christmas, and I will catch you all in my next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to keep up to date.